Hi everybody, Harris here with the iDownload blog, and today we're taking a look at the iPhone 13 mini, which is going to be my personal phone of choice. We're going to go over at the beginning some very basic tips of how to use this if you're new to this phone or to iPhones in general, and then we'll go over some of the hardware, we'll go over different changes of this phone versus other years and things you need to know, and then we'll get into great tips for iOS 15 for getting the most out of this new compact flagship phone. Now inside the packaging of this iPhone, we get another year of pretty simple packaging. So there's no shrink wrapping around it, so you open it right up and you get the iPhone up top. Underneath that, you get your USB-C to lightning cable for charging, and then you just get some paperwork. And inside the paperwork, you get your SIM ejector tool, you get some warranty, and then you get a single Apple sticker. So not only do you get less instructions and paperwork than before, which is fine, but you no longer get headphones, you no longer get a headphone dongle, you no longer get a charging brick. So Apple says this is all about saving the environment, but of course this is all about Apple cutting cost. So if we're looking around the device up front, you have your screen, which has the camera, as well as a speaker and earpiece up top, which is in a slightly different spot than it was last year. Now it's at the very tip of the phone. Turning it to its left-hand side, we have the two volume buttons as well as your SIM card tray. Then you have your mute rocker, which can go between your mute mode and your sound mode. And this is a great way to make sure you always know where your sound profile is. And you can customize this in the sound settings to get exactly what you want out of this switcher. To the right-hand side, we have our power button as well as a little cutout for antenna for service for 5G and other wireless signals. The power button can be used once to lock or unlock your device. You can use it twice to pull up Apple Pay. You can hold it to get to Siri. And if you do volume up, down, power, you can power off your device. And finally, if you do volume button and power button, you can take a screenshot. And if you click on the screenshot, you get several options, including using the little pen tool to do whatever you want to this image. You can mark it up, and then you can save it or share it or delete it, which is what I'm going to do here. So that's the tour of the buttons on this device. Flipping around back, we have two cameras. We have a standard and a wide angle, a 0.5x angle camera. And then we have right here is our flash, and then we have a microphone, your Apple logo, of course. Then down below, we've got some more speakers as well as your charging port, your lightning charging port, which is going to be the same as some other Apple devices. If you have an older iPad, iPod Touch, or something like AirPods, this is going to use the same charging cable there. Now quickly, let's go over how to navigate your phone. So if you want to go home from any application that you're in, you're going to swipe up. Simple flick up. If you want to go back to a recent application, you can swipe to the right or to the left. You can go back and forth very simply like that. That's very easy to do. And if you want to see all your recent applications, you swipe up and hold, and you get used to that, and you'll feel a little bit of a haptic feedback on the phone. What you can also do from there is close your applications. If an app isn't working well, you can force close it by doing that. And you can also use multiple fingers to close multiple apps at once. I personally don't close my apps. Apple does a pretty good job of managing apps in the background. Some people do it kind of impulsively, close all their recent applications, up to what you want to do, but I personally don't. Now, if you want to get to a notification center, you're going to swipe down from the center-ish, and you can see any notifications that you have waiting for you there. And if you want to get to your quick controls, swipe down from the top right-hand side, and here you get lots of quick controls ranging from brightness, and you can hold on to that and get a few more options, such as night shift, which will make your screen a little bit more orange, as well as dark mode, which is a nice feature. I'm going to turn those back off, as well as do not disturb and focus mode, which we'll go into later. Now, if you want to add things to Control Center, to this menu here, you go into your settings and Control Center. And here you can add or subtract any that you want, and you can also rearrange them. So this is very, very handy. If you need a charger and don't have one already, you have several options. So you need to use your charging cable that comes with the iPhone, of course, or you can buy any other type of lightning cable, whether it has USB-C on the end or not. Now, I like to have a couple of these. One I keep in my backpack, one in my room, one in my office, stuff like that. Now, what's nice about these is that if you have an iPad, such as the new iPad mini here, which I just covered and you can watch that video, you can actually plug your USB-C port into your iPad and then plug that into your iPhone, and you can charge from an iPad. And you can do the same thing with a Mac or pretty much any other device with USB-C. Now, if we use this power meter that I have here and we plug it in, we can actually see what type of power the iPhone draws when it is charging. And you see this says about 12 watts right now, but it really depends on what your phone is doing. So if you're really using your phone more intensively and you're drawing a lot of power, you're going to get this creep up to around 20 watts, which means that you can benefit from a 20-watt charger with this phone. As you can see right there, we're at 12 watts. So the standard 5-watt charger that we used to get, and here we are, we're up to now 15 watts of charge. So that's how much power you can draw from your iPhone. So you're gonna want, if you want the fastest charging possible, a 20-watt charging brick. And I have a couple here. This one's from Anker. It's pretty cost effective and very portable. And then a similar one from Spigen. It's also 20 watts. I always keep one of these in my backpack so that when I'm traveling or on the go or at a coffee shop or whatever, I always have a charger that's very portable with me. So I definitely recommend getting 1 or 2 of these to have in your backpack and around the house, stuff like that. And I'll leave links down in the description. Now, since last year with the iPhone 12, this iPhone 13 also supports Magsafe. So there's tons of magnetic accessories that you can use with your iPhone. So here I have one from ESR, and this just magnetically attaches to the back, and then you can plug it in like that. And of course, Apple makes their own charger, which looks like this, and you just lay it on the back of your device and it will start charging. And this is really nice, but this is kind of expensive. So if you want to get a cheaper one, you can get them from different companies such as Spigen here. And you can see it magnetically attaches and will charge your phone. And I've also made a video comparing several budget chargers for your iPhone if you don't want to pay Apple's price. But this is a pretty nice charger for automatically aligning and never having to fiddle with charging cables or not putting it correctly on a wireless charger. Of course, you can use a standard wireless charger with this, or you can use Magsafe. And there's other accessories such as this one from Spigen that'll allow you to clamp this down to a desk so that when you pick it up, this will stay planted on your table. So there's several options for Magsafe charging, but if you want to get the fastest Magsafe charging, you're gonna have to go through Apple and get their Magsafe charger with a 20-watt charging cube, and then you can wirelessly charge pretty quickly on the iPhone, and I personally love this. Now, in terms of cases, we actually have a bit of a downside this year. Any iPhone 12 mini case that you had last year will not fit this year unless it had a really big cutout, and even then the thickness might make a difference. So the iPhone 13 mini is now thicker than the iPhone 12 mini. Just a little bit, but enough of a difference to not fit properly into phone cases. But the bigger issue is the camera bump. So not only is it a different shape, as you can see, it's ever so slightly wider, but it's also a thicker system as well. So if we're looking at it from the top, it just sticks out a little bit more, which is so unfortunate. And I really hope this wasn't intentional on Apple's part, because any cases that you had last year will not work this year. So one of my favorite cases from Nomad, we'll try putting that on, and it almost looks like it's gonna fit. But then if you squeeze it on, you see that it just doesn't quite close over the top of your phone because the bulge here is just too much from the camera bump. So you're gonna have to buy a new case if you had an iPhone 12 mini case from last year, or if you're shopping for a new one, make sure you get one specifically for the iPhone 13 mini. So that's definitely a bummer there. But you can get really nice cases with MagSafe support for the iPhone 13 mini. Spigen makes some great ones, and with all of these, the magnets still work, so you can charge through these cases and use the whole range of MagSafe accessories, whether it be a charger or a car mount. Or one of my favorite accessories is Spigen's wallet solution, which is a little folding wallet that goes to the back of your phone, magnetically attaches. You can have it on or off, whatever you want. But then it also folds into a kickstand, so you can watch movies or content, whatever you want, right from the stand. So I personally love this solution. I put 3 cards in here, and I love this. And then Apple also has their own wallet solution. So again, I'll leave links to these in the description if you want to check them out. But I'm a huge fan of MagSafe accessories. And I would recommend checking out some because they're very, very practical and convenient. So I love that. Now let's get into the actual tips of using this phone. So starting off is a brand new feature called cinematic video. And if you go into your camera and you swipe over twice, you can see the cinematic camera option. And with this turned on, it basically gives you the ability to focus rack, which means a really smooth, creamy focus transition from something in the foreground to the background. And not only that, but it kind of an exaggerated version of that because it uses software to enhance it. So if we look back, we can look at just this footage that I have here. You can see how blurred out the background is behind this. It's super clean. But not only that, but you can go in and edit it after the fact, and you can choose which parts you want to be blurred out. So for here, I can focus on the can, but I can also change the focus to something behind the can, and now you can see that kind of the lamp in the background is in focus. And the can is no longer in focus. And then we can move it back actually. So let's move it back, and there you can see the can is in focus again. And you can also choose how blurred out you want this to be by clicking the aperture button, and we can make this really blurred out at f2.0 or a lot less blurred out at f16. So this is a really cool feature for getting really great looking video. It's not gonna be perfect because it does have a lot of software enhancement, but you can also use it on the front facing camera. As you can see here, the background of this video is very blurred out, which is awesome. Now next is a feature called focus mode, which is kind of do not disturb on steroids. So if you go into this menu here and you click on it, you see several options. You have do not disturb up top, which is a standard do not disturb that you can customize in the settings. But you can also customize different focus profiles. So for instance, I have one called work, and when this is turned on, it turns off all my screens except for this one, which is going to be my least distracting screen, and the only thing that I see on my home screen is a few apps as well as a to-do list and nothing else. It's also going to dim my lock screen and disable any notifications. So you see my lock screen is very bare and simple. Additionally, it will turn off all badges on my apps, so if I have text messages, it won't show me that. And then if somebody tries to notify me, it won't go through. I won't get the message until I turn this mode off, and it will deliver a message to the person that sent it saying, this person is on focus mode, they'll get back to you when they turn it off. That's super, super cool. And then as soon as I turn that off, you see I have all of my home screens back again. So that's just a really, really powerful feature. And you can customize focus mode to be whatever you want in your focus settings. And you can choose who can contact you, what apps you're allowed to use, stuff like that. It's really great. Now next is a cool feature if you ever find yourself without service. So if I turn on airplane mode and turn off Wi-Fi and cellular, I can still use Siri to do certain tasks, such as turn on flashlight.
Okay, I turned flashlight on.
Turn off flashlight.
Okay, I turned flashlight off.
But then if I try to do other things like, what's the red score?
To do that, you'll need to turn off airplane mode.
And Siri will tell me I need to turn off airplane mode. So there's certain tasks that you can do without any type of connection at all. And I made a video talking about this, which you can check in the description down below. Now next, one of my favorite new features is the ability to customize your Safari launch page with a background image, as well as several other new features. So Safari's gotten kind of a revamp, but you can also customize where your address bar is. So you can have it on the bottom or at the top like it was before. So I'm gonna turn it back on the bottom. I'm gonna open up a new tab. I'm gonna go to YouTube. And this allows me to swipe back and forth between tabs. Back and forth tabs just like I can do with apps in general. So I can go back and forth between apps, but also back and forth between tabs. Now, a new really powerful feature of this iPhone is live text. And this means that you can basically scan any text that you see anywhere on the device. If it's in a photo or an album cover or anything, your phone is basically always searching for text to highlight so that you can translate it or copy and paste it or move it into a different app, whatever the circumstance may be. Now, I made a video talking about this, which you can check it out. I'm just gonna take a picture of the back of this box. And if I click this little icon down here on the bottom, it'll be the scan option. And so now this has scanned all this text. And if I wanted to copy and paste all of this text, I now have that. So basically it makes your text come to life. So if you want to scan a billboard or a phone number or anything like that, you can easily do that and then work with that text. And again, this works in photos or really anything else. So it's a super powerful feature, and you check out the video if you want to learn more about it. Now, one of my favorite things to do with a new device is turn off a specific Face ID setting. So I like to turn off password autofill. So this way, when I'm autofilling a password, say for Amazon or something, when it uses the iCloud keychain, it won't have to scan my face. It'll just do it automatically. Because once I've already unlocked my phone, I'm okay with the autofilling passwords that it remembers. So I turn this feature off so that it doesn't have to scan my face every time it enters a username and every time it enters a password. So I definitely like this feature. You can also set up an alternative appearance if you want to give someone else access to unlocking your phone, although it's not technically what it's designed for, but it works for that. Another feature that I always like to turn off pretty quickly is auto brightness. And this is kind of hard to find sometimes. So you have to go into accessibility and then display and text size. And at the bottom, turn off auto brightness, because this is turned on by default, but I do not like auto brightness at all. So you can turn that off. Now, another new feature that I really like is turning on per app basis text size. So if you go to the text size control and you hold on to it, You can control the text size for all your apps, but you can also control it on a per app basis. So if you're in an application that usually has a font size that's just too big or too small, you can customize it on a per app basis to really get the perfect one for your screen, especially with a smaller screen size like the iPhone 13 mini. And then finally, one of my favorite features is the ability to control the playback speed for videos on iPhone. So if you're in Safari, you click the little three dots, and then you can change the playback speed to whatever you want for faster or slower. I think that's just a really cool feature that they have added. I use this all the time for YouTube, so it's great to have it within Safari now. And finally, if we go into your iCloud settings and Find My, this has gotten more powerful than ever. And I would just say make sure you have all of these turned off, including Send Last Location and Find My Network. This means that you can find your iPhone when it's offline and dead. So other devices can help you find your phone if it's lost and dead. And I would also turn on this feature as well. These are just really great safety features if you ever lose your iPhone. So anyway, those are some of my favorite features, tips, tricks, and more for the iPhone 13 mini. It's a really great phone. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and stay tuned for the iPhone 13 Pro version of this video. And I've done the one for the iPad mini 6, and then the iPad 9th gen is coming too. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.